But let's start with some good news tonight. One Nation has won an extra Senate seat today. Of course, there was talk that Pauline Hanson's daughter Lee could win down in Tasmania, but as we know, Jackie Lambie managed to fend her off. But she's managed to get a candidate over the line in Western Australia. Tyron Whitten was declared the winner of the final Senate spot today. And he seems like exactly the kind of bloke we should have more of in Parliament. He's helped start a successful construction company, so he has an understanding of the real world, he has some runs on the board, he has some success, and he's not a serial candidate who's been trying to get into politics forever because, well, he's got nothing better to do. And hopefully he'll be a voice for all the things that we talk about here every night: sensible migration, sensible energy policy, the sort of stuff that One Nation has been pushing. And look, there's no getting away from the fact that it was a landslide election for Labor. We all know that. The Coalition absolutely buggered it up. But this is a great effort by One Nation. It's the first time, we should note, that they've had a senator elected outside of Queensland without it being a double dissolution election. Now, of course, at a double dissolution, the whole of the Senate has to go up for election. So the quota you need to get elected is halved. That's why a bunch of One Nation senators were elected in 2016. But this is the first time it's been done at a standard election with double the quota you had in 2016. And that is no mean feat. So I know a lot of people are licking their wounds and down and out about the election result, but let this be an example of the fact that things may not be as bad as you think they are. I mean, conservatism hasn't just died overnight in Australia, and it's probably a good moment to consider as well that if all of these small right-of-centre parties, and there's plenty of them, and their preferences, of course, got this fella in, but if they knocked their heads together and formed a united front, like Reform in the UK, they'd probably be a lot more powerful than many people realise. So good luck to him, and I'm sure we'll see him here on our screens very soon. Speaking of Conservative politics, of course, the Coalition back together now, so they'll have to work out whether or not they support net zero by 2050. Now, you probably know my view. I think they need to get rid of it, and I'll talk a bit more about that in a moment. But let's go through how all of it played out today first. Now, obviously, yesterday, opposition leader Susan Lee said that she wouldn't just be backing net zero at any cost. Essentially, if we're going to back net zero, it has to be because we think it's the best deal for the Australian people. We can't just blindly follow down the road of net zero. Well, this was Lee on Sky this morning.
The agreement with the Nationals was that we would, as a first step, announce as one of the policies we have jointly as a coalition to remove the moratorium. There's plenty of work to be done in terms of nuclear energy policy more broadly after that. That's a good starting point. But we'll take the time to get this right. We'll work through the issues.
Now, look, it's pretty non-committal, but then she has said that everything is on the table and they'll have to discuss all this stuff, so she's not really in a position to make any commitments yet. But she is opening the door to getting rid of net zero, and that is welcome. And certainly from within the Nationals, there were a few people stoking the fire this morning. Barnaby Joyce has spoken against net zero plenty of times before, but this is what he said this morning.
Going to focus very much on getting rid of net zero. You can see the silhouette of those hills. We don't want them covered in swindle factories, wind towers, solar panels. We've got to make sure that we keep the power price right for pensioners. They're more worried about the power price than they are about a Paris Agreement. So I'll look after the pensioners before I look after Paris.
And he was even more animated about it with Andrew Bolt tonight, and good on him. I mean, he doesn't have to worry about cabinet anymore. He's on the backbench. He can say exactly what he wants, which will be good because we know Barnaby will speak his mind and often speak common sense. And another former Deputy Prime Minister who's been dumped from the Shadow Ministry is Michael McCormack. He's also questioning the value of net zero.
I think we need to have a very serious discussion about that. When I go to places such as Crookville, Bynalong, Gunning, where they've got huge wind towers, Bowning is another place, huge wind towers. They've done their heavy lift as far as making sure that they put these massive turbines up. The solar factories that are bobbing up all over, taking up valuable arable country, farmland. I think regional Australia has done its fair share, and I think we need to revisit that, given the fact that the world, indeed America and other countries and other political parties in other nations have really revisited this net zero. I think the Nationals will do the same.